Hey guys, it's Mike with Faithful Farm. Today we're going to do a video on planting a bunch of different crops. We're going to be doing tomatoes, Roma, and sweet cherry. Do a little experiment with some lettuce and spinach. It's a little early. You can start lettuce and spinach indoors prior to transplanting, but it's a little early for that. So these are going to be grown strictly indoors to like a microgreen size, where I'm going to overseed them, let them grow all together, and let them grow to about 2 inches tall, 3 inches tall, and cut them for lettuce. I'm going to also do some basil, chamomile, and cilantro. So just quickly, I know I made a video on this before, but just to go over it again, I'm going to show you how to pack the seed cells again. You want to fill them up, thumb pack them in, just like that, and then fill them up to the top. So you get something just like that. Alright, so let's start with tomatoes. There's two different types of tomatoes. There's determinate varieties and indeterminate varieties. Indeterminate are usually the viney, the cherry tomatoes. The determinate are usually the plump Romas, the beefsteak tomatoes. The difference between determinate and indeterminate are these will keep growing to 6-7 feet tall, and you will get fruit throughout the whole growing season. Determinate varieties, they grow up to a certain point, they produce all their fruit, and then they die off. Another thing with this, either disease, they'll keep growing until disease or frost kills them. Planted the same way, so I'm just going to plant my favorite, which is aromas. We like to make sauce. So what you do is, here are the seeds. Try to zoom in on them. There we go. Pretty big. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant 2 seeds in a cell, 1 in each corner. Drop a few there. With tomatoes, you definitely want to stake them, especially the indeterminate varieties. They will topple over. I've had that happen to me. Now with the excess seed that you don't use, just store them back in. Take your popsicle stick, press them in 1/4 to 1/2 inch deep. Pretty much the exact same thing as my other video on peppers. The reason you plant 2, so you're not waiting for them to germinate. Tomatoes take around 7 to 10 to 14 days, depending on how much heat you got, what the weather or the environment indoors is. The other tomatoes are exactly the same. I'm not going to show you to save some time. And always label. Roma tomatoes. Today's the 6th. Plant it right there so you don't forget. Alright, let's do some, we'll do some basil. I'll show you how I plant the basil. I overseed it. I've had this pack of seeds for about 3.5 years. I want to see how well seeds don't last forever. Just want to see how how it grows. So this is what the basil seed looks like. Decent size again, a little bit smaller than tomatoes. What I do is take a pinch and just sprinkle it over the top of the cells. If I had to say, probably getting 10 to 12 seeds per cell. And when they're growing, I just thin them down to probably around 4 plants per cell, I would say, and then I split them up. Again, with this, these you just want to scratch about a 1/4 inch deep. Depth with these smaller seeds is a little bit more important than the tomato and the pepper and the onion. I've done experiments with that where I just put it on the top, barely covered it, push it halfway down the cell, and I push it all the way to the bottom, and everything germinated, just different times. Obviously, the lower it is, it's going to take longer to come up, but in the end they all germinated, so it's not crazy big of a deal. But with these smaller seeds, I would be a little bit more careful. Label the basil. Let's do some lettuce. For the lettuce, I'm going to plant them in the 4 cells. I've been planting in the 6 cells here with the tomatoes and the basil. Let's do this new pack of gourmet lettuce. It's a mixed lettuce. It has arugula, romaine. And you can see the difference. Lettuce seed is almost like a grass seed. Let's zoom in on it. Got the dark and the light, so you get a mixed blend. This one, I'm going to overseed as well. So I'm going to take a pinch. I'm going to spread it all, probably 15 to 20 seeds. They're bigger cells, so you could afford to pack it a little bit more. And these, as I said before, are staying inside. It's a little early to plant lettuce indoors. You can, and then transplant it. You actually get a head start, so you get an earlier crop. But it's a little early, so this I'm just going to do an experiment and see how well they grow indoors full time. So just like the basil, you just scratch them in. Quarter inch. That actually is a big piece of coconut or something in here. Look at that. My mix again is 4:1 ratio of cocoa coir to perlite. You want a nice and fluffy starting mix. Plenty of air for the roots to grow. And simply pack it down. And there's your lettuce. Oh, do I have a lettuce label? Yep. Gourmet lettuce, 3/6. I'll save the other lettuce to save some time. We do some spinach. Spinach seeds are actually pretty big. They're almost like onions. Same method. I'm going to use the 4 cell. I'm going to overseed them. Not as many. I'll probably put in around 8. These I'll thin out to about 2 to 3 plants per. Love spinach. Very good for you. If you heard that noise, that was just my neighbors. So, these ones I'm just going to actually just press in. I'm not going to scratch them in. Save some time. Just push them in like that. Spread them out a little bit. And just cover it with a little bit of soil. Starting mix. And I don't think I have a label for the spinach, so I'll do that after. Alright, so we'll go ahead and do the chamomile. Chamomile seeds are very tiny. They're almost like the oregano and thyme seeds. Check out my other video and I'll show you how I planted those. I buy all my seeds pretty much from Johnny's Selected Seeds. This year I kind of just was late with everything, so I had to go to Home Depot. Chamomile, same thing, you overseed it. 8 to 12 seeds per. If you get more, you get more. It's not a big deal. You'll end up thinning everything out. Chamomile, actually, I'm going to leave as a clump, and then I'm actually going to transplant it into a larger pot and just let them all grow together. You pop the flowers off, you dry them out, and you make tea. It's delicious. Scratch these in very lightly. These need light. You just really barely putting any pressure down. Just trying to get a little bit better seed to soil contact. Tamp these in. And you got the chamomile. Chamomile takes about 10 to 14 days to germinate. So we'll check back on those in about 2 weeks, and we'll do one more. We'll do cilantro. I tried planting these a couple weeks ago. I got no germination. These are old seeds. They're about 5 years. So we're going to give them another try. If I don't have any luck, I'm going to go to the store and buy some more. So cilantro, we'll do them in a 6 cell. I'm not going to overseed these. The seeds are pretty big. I'm going to plant about 4 in each though. 4 in each corner, or 1 in each corner. Cilantro should take anywhere from pretty much the same amount, 10 to 14 days. Really, every plant is pretty much between 10 and 14. Peppers are the exception, and some herbs like the thyme and the oregano, they take a while. They could take up to almost a month. Just got to be patient. So the cilantro, 4 in a corner. Take it and just press them down. Again, quarter, half inch. Not that big of a deal. Cilantro, it's too early to put outside it also. So these are going to be grown under the lights and by the windowsill. Cover them up. press it down. Label it up. And that's that. So quickly again, just to go over, after you've done this, you want to water. You're going to just pour some water into this tray, quarter way up, let it absorb whatever's not absorbed in a half hour, dump out. Put these right into your grow station. Check out my other video on how you set that up. And that's it. So that's how you plant some tomatoes, some lettuce, some couple herbs, some spinach. And in about 2 weeks we'll check out how the germination is and how everything's growing. If you like this video, feel free to comment below. Please subscribe, greatly appreciated. And as always, have a great day and God bless.